Welcome to Universal Man. My name is Mark Weapon. I'm here to help you unleash your apex potential. And today we're going to talk about how everybody is addicted to the dopamine slot machine. But sadly, only the house, the casino of dopamine, the dopamine industrial complex, they're the only ones who are winning. Everyone else is just getting addicted and then corrupted in mind, body, and spirit. But today I'm going to be sharing with you 4 tips so that we can flip this script so that you can win big instead of go broke. So there's this book that I read a while ago, and it's called Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. And it's a really cool book. And the fundamental premise is that if you want to improve your decision making, then you have to apply odds to the decisions that you're making. So for example, if you want to get in shape, okay, there are different choices that you can make throughout the day that have a higher and lower chance of helping you meet that goal. Right? So, if you eat that one cookie, does that mean that you can never get in shape? No. But if you eat that one cookie, what are the chances that it'll lead to another cookie? Maybe pretty high. Versus not, right? Versus, if you don't eat that cookie, what are the chances that you stick to your goal? Well, if you never eat a cookie again, well, maybe that's going to be too hard and the chances go up that maybe you will, then have a binge or something like that. But, the idea is that you can always break things down in terms of odds. Of either a good thing happening or a bad thing happening. And this has always been true. You've always been able to map odds to whatever decision that you make. But the thing that's unique about modern culture is that they've really leaned into this and used modern technology to make your choices more like a slot machine. By introducing constant high levels of novelty, they've made it so that throughout the day, you're constantly hit with this opportunity to gamble. And if you win, well, then you get a juicy spike of dopamine or entertainment or stimulation or something like that. And if you lose, well, then you just gotta pull the slot again, right? And instead of having to insert coins into the machine, you just have to keep giving your time, attention, and, I guess sometimes also your money too. So, it gets to the point where everybody's kind of addicted on spinning this dopamine slot machine. So, we're going to teach you 4 tips here for how to deal with this so that you don't end up losing, because I think most people are today, and they just got to learn how to game the system a little bit. So the very first thing is you have to see the slot machines, okay, because they're everywhere, all right? Every single time you open and look at some algorithmically generated feed. So, whether maybe it's Google News, maybe it's, a social media feed, maybe you are just going through your email, right? Every single thing that scrolls past your eye is, something that algorithm, it's trying to get you to click on it because, and you're gambling. As you're scrolling through this algorithm, you're looking for something that's juicy, that's interesting, that seems compelling to you, right? And so most of us, we know that exists, and we know that these things are kind of like slot machines, but, it goes into the notification systems. Every notification you get, you look at it, it's oh, is this something interesting? Is it not? And sometimes they just start manufacturing more notifications in the app so that, you just keep looking at them. If you follow Social Dilemma and that sort of thing, then you know this. But it goes beyond just apps and that sort of thing. It goes into how everything is constructed today, how stores are laid out. For example, if you walk into a grocery store, they always have some new spread of items in front of you. If you go to a fast food joint, they always got some new item featured. And it's kind of that if you keep coming back to these places, they're going to have something new. And maybe that new thing is going to be enticing. Maybe it's going to be exciting. And we get hooked on it. And you have to see these slot machines because if you don't, then you're going to be making decisions without realizing that you're placing a bet. And worst case scenario is you're going to be getting addicted without even realizing that you're getting addicted to gambling in these areas. And so what you're going to want to do then is we're going to move on to the next step, and that is pick the best slot machines and ignore the rest. Okay, so this hit me really strongly when I was in the process of really scaling back my video games a few years ago, because I realized that I was a gambling addict when I thought I was a competitive addict. which I don't think I really was. Like, I'd play these games, high, super competitive shooters. But I realized that there was a massive slot machine element to it. Some games I'd have a great team and we'd stomp them and I'd feel amazing. That was probably like 10-20% of the time. Probably 30 to 50% of the time, I had a crappy team, or we had a lever, or there was something that happened that made the match feel really shitty, just unenjoyable, just a grind to get through and frustrating at the end. And then, there was, another percentage that was just kind of like a mediocre time. And I realized what I was playing for was that 10 to 20% of getting that high. And it didn't really have a ton to do with skill. It had everything to do with how did the slot machine play out? And, a lot of things I realized went like that. I was constantly, like scrolling through my YouTube feed and even going to individual people. Every once in a while they'd have something really good, but more often than not it was just the same old stuff over and over and over and over again. And that's fine. Like, you just want to find the slot machines that have the odds that you're looking for, right? If you spend your evenings just scrolling through some social media feed, maybe there's a 5% chance you find that one meme that just like kills you and makes the whole experience worth it. But then the rest of the time, you're just kind of like sitting there drooling, wasting time. And what if you did something else instead? What if instead you played a different game with a different set of odds? Maybe you read a book, okay? Maybe that book has an even lower chance of offering that super high, wonderful experience of the perfect meme, okay? Maybe the book you're reading, it just does, it's not going to get that good. But you got about an 80% chance of it being pretty good, okay? Well, that's better odds, right? That's a better move. And so you got to start seeing this kind of stuff, right? And you'd be surprised at how often this sneaks in a very kind of distorted, bad manner, especially for guys who are like trying to quit porn, for example. Like they do this thing that I've dubbed porn fishing, where they go to some algorithmically generated feed of, of pictures, usually like, Imgur or Reddit or even social media. And they know they just keep scrolling. There's like a percentage chance that they're going to see something sexually exciting. And that's what they do, is they go there unconsciously realizing that they're just gambling for sexual stimulation, right? And so you just got to be aware of this stuff, and you got to just play better games, because everything's a bet, right? Everything is a bet, but like just place your bets on the things that have a chance of actually letting you win in a way that matters, right? So that moves us to tip number 3. And tip number 3 is hack the machines to your benefit, okay? Because a lot of these things, they can be manipulated on your end so that you increase your chances of coming away a winner, right? And I've covered some of this in my previous content. Like, make sure that you really curate your feeds where you can. So if you're going to use social media, make sure you only follow good people. Make sure that when it shows you something you don't want to see, you say, I don't want to see this. If you can, like, just make a short list of the people you actually, they have a high chance of delivering high value to you. Make sure you have easy access to them. Maybe just skip the feeds altogether, right? That's really, really useful. If you're someone who is a sucker for the food kind of slot machine, I've heard this tip before. It's pretty good. It's like, go to the grocery store when you're shopping and just stick to the outside of the store, because that's usually where the produce and the meats and stuff are, and it's like more toward the end caps and in the snack aisle that you're really going to get you're going to be enticed by some sort of display that sort of suckers you in. Maybe that doesn't work perfectly, but like this gives an example of how you can modify your behavior so that you are less likely to get pulled in to making poor decisions, spending your energy on slot machines that have low chances of serving you. And the final tip here is just put these slot machines in their proper place. All right. So if you're in the middle of your workday, it's not the right time for you to be playing a pleasure slot machine. But this is what everybody does. Like, they do 15 minutes of work and then they do a quick scroll of Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is they do. YouTube, don't do that then. That's not the time to play that game, right? Maybe you can play that game after your work is done. Like for me personally, I try to stay entirely away from that kind of stuff until I've logged my work time for the day. Some things I don't do at all unless it's not a work day. I don't do it unless it's like a Friday or a Saturday, and I just like completely skip it, during the week. Like for example, like a lot of like my show watching and that sort of stuff, I don't even touch it during the week, right? And so you can create these hard boundaries where certain slot machines are just not allowed. And the goal here is not total prohibition. The goal is to create a relationship with modern culture so that you can really, truly win. Like you can get ahead, because novelty and all this, dopamine stimulation, all this kind of stuff, it's not inherently bad. At least not all of it. Some of it is, but most of it's not. Most of it can actually fit nicely into your life. It can be very pleasurable. But the key is just making sure that you have a conscious and intentional relationship with it. And if you do, well, then it can actually become a gateway to serendipitous expansion and improvement of your mind, of your relationships, of, your opportunities, because sometimes you can find something wonderful. I've learned a tremendous amount on social media. I found incredible ideas on social media. And it's just like, you just got to know how to tweak the machine and tweak your relationship to it so that you increase your chance of getting those actually valuable things. So that's what I pretty much have for you guys today. If you find yourself getting addicted to the porn slot machine, which I think many people are, well, then you can always check out my reboot regimen guide, which you can get by clicking the link below. But if you got something out of this video, please please subscribe, and let me know what's the dopamine slot machine that you struggle with the most in the comments. And even if you don't want to tell me, just comment anyway. Feed the algorithm, right? I need the help. I'm trying to get over 100,000 here. I've been hard stuck, guys. What's going on here? So yeah, please subscribe, do all that stuff. Help me out here if you like my stuff. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Keep winning. Ooh yeah.